Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Dr. Natalie Candela and I'm a hypnotherapist and a transformation coach. On this channel I talk about hypnosis, transformation, and spiritual awakening. And today I want to talk to you about aliens. Now, if aliens and just the weird stuff seem too far out for you and you're not interested in thinking about it or even exploring this topic, then I suggest you don't listen to the rest of this video. But if it piques your interest and if you want to explore it a little bit further, then this video is for you. So today I want to talk about, are aliens real? Do they exist? Why are we not seeing them? Why are there reports but the rest of us are not observing aliens walking around? So I haven't been interested in this topic throughout my life. I came to it only a few years ago. I always was open-minded and I thought that, yeah, it sounds like they should exist. I mean, logically, although this logic may not be the logic for everyone, but to me it seemed like there are so many planets and stars and galaxies out there that to imagine that we are the only one in existence on this little planet of ours is just logically doesn't make sense. So I was always open to the idea, but never really very interested in exploring it in detail. But it kind of came to me. I met an interesting person who introduced me to the organization that studies UFOs and or alien experiences. And so I began to have hypnosis sessions with people who have had alien either actual interactions or have had visions or have seen UFOs or have seen things that they could not explain. And so that opened up kind of a whole new perspective on life for me. And so I wanted to share a little bit of that with you today. So first of all, are aliens real? Do they exist? And for me, the answer is absolutely yes. If you talk to scientists, most of them should tell you that there is so much that exists outside of this planet that to think that we are the only sentient beings in creation is just illogical. Now, we have not found anybody who looks exactly like us and lives exactly like us, but that doesn't mean that they're not there just because we haven't come across them yet. And also, they may not look exactly like us and they may not act and live exactly like us. We haven't really gone beyond our planet that much. We have gone to the moon. We have just reached Mars, barely, but we haven't really gone that far to even be exposed to everything that's out there. So that the fact that we haven't come across anybody is not really proof that they don't exist. It's just the fact that we haven't reached them yet. For my spiritually awakening friends, you know, I personally view us as souls, a spirit that puts on a body and comes to Earth to experience life. At the end of our life, we take our body off and we go back into spirit. And so that's the experience of reincarnation. We keep coming in the physical body and then we take it off and go back into spirit. Well, spirit is eternal. There is no beginning and no end to it. However, Earth is not eternal. it does have a specific starting point in time. It does have a point where the planet was created, and it will have a point, perhaps in billions of years, that it will no longer exist. So if the Earth is limited in time, but the spirit is not limited in time, then it must have been somewhere before it came to Earth, and it must go somewhere after Earth is gone. And so in fact, the reality is that all of us on this planet are what you would call aliens. We all come from somewhere else. We have to, because the Earth has not been here forever. It just came into existence in terms of creation a short time ago. So we are all travelers through space and time. We have all had experiences in other realms, in other places where there's different physics, perhaps. We have all occupied, lived in bodies that were similar to human bodies. So, but we have all had different experiences. And so to think that it's strange that those alien beings would come here on Earth and interact with us is not very reasonable, because if we were there, if we interacted with them, then we have connections with them. So think about it this way. Let's say you went to a summer camp when you were a kid and you made friends there. And then you came back from the summer camp and you have grown up and you now have your own adult life and you have your kids maybe and you have other interests. You don't think about maybe summer camp hardly ever at all. But you do have a person that you really connected there and you made a great friend with that person. And every once in a while, you reconnect with that friend that you made in that summer camp. Maybe you talk on the phone, maybe you send a letter, maybe even come and meet in person. So that summer camp friend may be the alien being that comes and visits you on Earth. You have your own life on Earth, you're doing your own things, you're not thinking about other planets that you've visited, but every once in a while, you have a visit and you reconnect. Now, many people, when they have these contacts, these reconnections, they kind of freak out, because in our conscious minds, we don't really remember that we had this summer camp friend. So many people, when they first come into contact with alien beings, they are not sure what's happening. They have a lot of distrust in their own senses. They may think they're making it up. They may think it's a dream. And then they are questioning the reason for this meeting. Well, obviously they don't know what's happening. And they're questioning the motives of the beings. They often think that the motives are dark, that they're being used, and they're being pushed into something that, against their will, that they don't want to do. I think a lot of this fear and distrust comes from the fact that we don't have conscious memory, conscious understanding of our connection with these beings. And another is that, in media, in sort of the way we present aliens, the way we talk about them in the media is to present them as monsters, as something really bad, something really negative that comes here to feed on us. So there is this collective fear that then seeps into the personal fear. And so a lot of people react with fear when they have these interactions. When they come to me to have a regression and to kind of understand their experience a little better, they usually come in with the questions of, I want to understand what they want from me, why they're here, do I have any choice in this? Usually they say they don't want to continue this, they want the experiences to stop. And so there's usually a very negative reaction initially to these interactions and communications. Through the regressions that I have done, I found that there's usually a pattern. I'm seeing a pattern. And the pattern is that especially if people have repeated visitations, if they have these repeating experiences with aliens, and some of them they may remember consciously and some of them they may not. They may, in hypnosis, discover additional visits that they had no recollection of. That when there is this repeated pattern of contacts, that the connection goes much deeper between the human and the alien than just some sort of abusive or using something for something kind of contact. That there is almost a more emotional, deeper connection between the two beings that they're maintaining. It's like reconnecting with a friend from the summer camp. And as people go through the regression and they begin to recollect, they begin to reconstruct that memory. And what I usually do, let me just kind of break away from that. What I usually do in the session is I take the human back to the experience that makes sense to them, that allows them to understand where did the initial contact start? Where did they have that point of contact that created that connection between them? And often the point of contact is not them meeting here on Earth. The initial point of contact is, it may be the time that the human was a member of that alien race, him or herself. So they were part of that society. They lived within that race. And so now they have that deep connection because they are from there. They are not initially human, they're initially them. And so the beings that come to visit them, maybe they're friends that they have established a deep connection with, and they come to visit just to reconnect, just to catch up. So when in regression, people begin to remember, they reconstruct that memory, and they have this aha moment, like, oh my God, I remember this being, I remember we are actually friends. I've been expecting him or I've been expecting her. When that moment occurs, there is a great shift away from fear and actually towards excitement and towards acceptance and just this visible relaxation. Like, yes, I wanted to get to meet them. I wanted to get to spend time with them. I just didn't remember who they were. And so when that happens, there is a great turnaround. And I ask them, are you willing to continue this interaction? Are you willing to continue developing this relationship? Is it okay that they visit? Because the human still has, we all have free will. So if the person says, no, that's absolutely not okay, and I do not wish to continue with it, I will enforce that within the regression. I will tell the aliens that, no, this has to stop. Interestingly enough, I haven't had any experiences when a person actually felt that they did not want to continue. Even though when they come in, they are really quite adamant that their experience, there's nothing good in it. But by the end of it, their perspective shifts quite a lot. And they typically say, yeah, it's good. I'm expecting them to come back. I want them to come back. Or at the very least, they say, it's okay that they come back. I want them not to disrupt my life greatly. I want them to honor these boundaries. But yes, I'm okay with them coming back because now I understand what it's about. So what is it about? You know, that's another question. Why do we have these contacts? You know, what do they accomplish? So one thing, as I said, they can be just friends reconnecting, catching up. That's just as simple as that. And usually in that case, it means that you as a human were at some point a member of their race. So that's how you became close and that's how you're friends. So that's one way. Another reason may be that you are working together. And so one experience may be that you are still continuing to be a part of that system, of that reality, of that race, and you come to Earth to experience life for the benefit of that alien race. Now, when I say for the benefit, it doesn't mean some sort of abusive relationship where you're kind of using the Earth for your own sinister benefits. That's not at all what it means. But there are alien races that exist to explore and understand reality. And so they send these, I don't want to say representatives, they send these beings that go and they experience life in different forms, and then they bring that knowledge and that experience back to their beings, and that's how they build their understanding of reality and their exploration. So they are explorers that come and become members of different races and in different galaxies and different universes. And then they bring it back, they kind of report back. They are like anthropologists that go and live within a different tribe or a different community and bring that knowledge back. So humans do that. So that's what aliens do. And so these aliens that come here, they become humans. So they are human while they are here on Earth, but a part of them, perhaps during sleep time, so a part of them that they may not even be consciously aware of, usually they're not consciously aware of it, they transmit that knowledge back to their collective, back to their planet, or back to their place where a part of them exists. And so when aliens come to visit them, sometimes it is to clarify something. So there are races, for example, that don't have a great understanding of emotions. Humans are very emotional beings. We experience everything through emotions. There are races that don't have that connection. And so when a human transmits information, let's say about love, about compassion, about caring, to a race that doesn't have a good sort of grasp of that emotion, they may not understand what it means. They may not understand how it works. And so they may come in to ask clarifying questions. So in this case, there are humans that are sort of on an assignment on Earth, and they're still working with their counterparts in their home world. And so there is this ongoing interaction between them. And so that's also an example of an alien visitation to someone who seems like a human, who is human, but is also part alien. There are also cases where there have been some connection in the past. Perhaps a human have been a member of an alien race. Now, more focuses on planet Earth, really spends all the time on Earth, is fully here, but because of their prior connections, they have agreed to assist. So let's say an alien race that they used to be part of is offering help to humanity, help to planet Earth, because there are many alien races that are here to support us. And so as they're offering us help, there are humans here that are also assisting them in implementation maybe of that, and gathering of information, in calibrating things. So there's still this collaborative relationship, but it's not for the benefit of the other alien race, it's for the benefit of planet Earth. So there are really multiple scenarios that can take place. Just like in regular life, people meet for different reasons, but all of these can result in actual alien and human contact. Now, why do we not all meet them? Why are we not all in contact with them? Well, one simple reason why aliens are not just like all over the planet is that humanity is not quite ready to process that information. Humanity is also not quite ready to use this information for peace. So if an alien ship landed on our front lawn today, there are probably corporations or individuals that would seek to weaponize the technology that is sitting on our front lawn, to use it in wars, to use it against other human beings. And that is the primary reason why they are staying out of sight. Once humanity comes to a point where, you know, whatever information comes to us, we don't immediately weaponize it. We use it for peaceful interaction with each other. They will make themselves more visible to us. They are all over our planet. They are visiting us all the time. There are alien races that are observing us, monitoring us, and offering support and offering help. So there are beings around our planet all the time, but they have an ability to keep if they're here in physical form, to keep themselves out of sight. And many of them are not even here in physical form, so they don't, you know, we wouldn't see them anyway. But they are holding themselves back because, one, they don't want to interfere with our free will. Our progress, our development has to be on our schedule. Humans have to progress at the rate that we choose to progress. So our free will on the planet is protected, and no other alien race will interfere with that. And second, because we are not really mature enough yet to receive such information and not weaponize it. And we're getting close to it. We're maturing, but we're not quite ready yet. And once we are, we will see that there are billions and billions and billions of life forms out there. And some of them are quite like ourselves, and some of them are quite different. And I have the privilege of really getting to know some of them through the sessions that I do with alien, or call them UFO experiencers, I guess, with people that have either seen, had some sort of UFO encounters, or actually have interacted with alien beings. Now, the experiences that I really love to explore are where humans get to actually interact with aliens, because that really leads into an interesting story where it's not just the interacted, but there is sort of the background story. Well, we interacted because, oh, we knew each other from, you know, millions of years ago. So those are the fun stories. If you'd like to experience some of them, learn about some of them, I have some of my UFO sessions posted on my YouTube channel, which is Natalie Candela, Hypnotherapist. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, and if you've had a UFO encounter that you have never told anybody about because you are afraid that people will think you're not all there, and you'd like to explore it, please reach out. I would love to help you explore it and understand it better. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave a comment. Tell me if you've had an encounter before. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so you can be notified of future postings. Thanks.